checkers, wreckers, and more. Brought to you by How Patio and Windows. They bring you premier windows, sunrooms, siding, and roofing in all of Southwest Michigan since 1983.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, or as our brothers to the south call you, Jesus, we thank you so much for this bountiful harvest of Domino's, KFC, and the always delicious Taco Bell. I just want to take time to say thank you for my family, my two beautiful, handsome, striking sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, or TR as we call him, and of course my red-hot smoking wife,
What is up, everybody? How are you?
We are back again. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in so far.
I don't think I messed up.
Well, we are real early in the broadcast to throw a statement like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
So, we're a little concerned right now. Our special guest is not here yet. Hopefully he shows up very soon.
I asked Chad if we told him it was Kalamazoo Speedway as opposed to some other speedway, so hopefully everything's good. What's up, Mama? Love you.
Aw.
That's my mom, if nobody knew. Rita.
Huh? Wait a minute, hold on. What did you say?
Chad, is it cold in here?
It's freaking really cold in here. Your mom. It is cold. We turned we turned the heater off. Oh no, not yet. Hold up. Oh boy.
Swear word number one.
No, I didn't really swear. I guess I did. Yeah, we turned the heater off because we do have a little bit of background noise. So we're probably, I think we're talking of moving the show. How Patio has opened up the doors to us. So we're probably going to move the show there just to kind of help with lighting, the heat. And we don't have to shovel these stairs because...
my shoulder got thrown out in the last 2 hours clearing the path up here.
Yeah, it was... I hate shoveling as it is. I watched you do 3/4 of the work. I'll be real with you. But I digress from there. So we're going to do a little bit different here tonight, just seeing if hopefully Zach shows up.
Well, first and foremost, I think we're jumping ahead.
I know, but I'm just telling everyone what's going on.
Very well. I think... Hold on, we got...
Who's this?
David. God, first time catching us. In New York, it's on the way to Cape Out. That is awesome, David.
Yes,
thanks for tuning in.
We appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure you win the award for longest distance viewer.
Nope, we got Canada. We have 6 viewers from Canada. I checked that out the other day.
Are they relatives of Mary's? Just kidding.
No, but seriously, David, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we're everything we've chalked it up to be.
Something like that.
Hopefully we don't lose you throughout the show. But so we're going to change things up just a little bit today. Hopefully he's just running a little bit behind. I know he's got 2 kids and it can be a pain sometimes. And I coached his son, and there was times he was a little late to practice too. Anywho.
It happens.
So let's quick jump into... no, go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Time on the field. Somebody's antsy, I think.
I am.
First and foremost, a lot of people are already commenting. That's awesome. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment, interact as this show goes on. We love you guys coming up with questions because it frankly gets kind of damn hard every week coming up with questions because we know these guys. So it's hard coming up with questions. You might not know them, what you would like to know. So
yeah, no, I agree. Interaction from you guys is probably the best thing we could have. What's up, Bubba? What's up, Jimmy? I just caught that too. I'm sorry. But yeah, I want everyone to be interactive with us. This is not a show just about us. If it wasn't for you guys, we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing either. So this is a show for you guys as well. So there's something we're missing, just shout it out and talk to us. And I would like to down the road again bring on guest again. It didn't work greatest, but something we can try down the road. Anywho, so how was your weekend? We won't go into details, but how was your weekend?
It was really good. Went to Chicago with a couple buddies from high school.
Did you touch the bean?
What?
The bean. Isn't the giant bean in Chicago?
No.
Oh, my
No.
God. Oh, jeez.
God, no.
Jeez.
But no, went to Chicago, went to see Dad of Life on Saturday night, who's a DJ, and I highly recommend. That was one of the best nights I think I've ever had. Chicago's an awesome town, one of my favorite places to visit. So it's nice. Lucked out on the weather, missed all the snow you guys got. Chicago got nothing, so that was fun coming back yesterday with it. So,
Well, cool. Yeah, we'll avoid the details because.
who gives a shit about the football?
Whoa. This is, all right. So we went on a cruise last year about this time, and I missed the Michigan-Ohio State game when Michigan finally beat them, and it is the game. Paul is not a football guy.
No, I love football, but I love racing more. So
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Jimmy says, easy, Paul.
Thanks, Bubba.
All right, cool. No, that's good.
Our guest has
we
arrived.
have a guest here. So, all right. Paul, I'm going to let you talk for a minute.
All right, cool. Finish our shout outs. Got to give a huge shout out to Kalamazoo Speedway Studio 16. We are here. We thought you might be able to see a little bit of the track with the snow reflection, and there is a random light on behind us, but that is not the case.
It's a ghost.
It's kind of cool seeing the track in snow, but not really because it's just depressing. But shout out to How Patios and Windows for all the support and all the love. Make sure you go see them for any of your household needs. And as always, Top Row Racing Media. They provide the Top Row Racing Media Crash of the Week, which tonight's is a doozy. We watched it, I think, like 14 times in a row before this. Sound effects.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, so I know he sent us a message. He was going to be late. He's got parent-teacher conferences tonight. So
And that's the truth. With some cheese on it. There ain't no meatloaf between these buns.
and then there's that. So,
There's number one.
but no, make sure you go give a like, give a follow to their page. Saturday Showcase has been a blast the last couple weeks, as well as just watching all the racing related videos over the 2022 season. So,
Okay.
without further ado,
Well, no, we got to talk about
this
this
is
event.
syrup you got in your cup.
To what?
This is syrup.
What? What did you say?
Huh?
All right, anywho, we have an event coming up on Saturday here at Kalamazoo Speedway. You want to talk about a little about that?
The Bad Santa, formerly 200, now 100. It's going to be nice. It's going to be close to 50, I think, on Saturday over here and sunny. So a nice change of pace from what it was last Saturday. 100 lap enduro.
They have the elf race. Words.
No, it's going to be a good time. It starts at 2 p.m. Tickets, I believe, are $15 per normal. Still Skybox is available.
I think they're down to like one or two.
Yeah, but a good way to come see the race, have some heat, a fridge.
Yeah, there is heat in here. We just turned it off.
Yep. Yeah.
Anywho, I was hoping that there'd be snow on the track for the event, but I'm thinking it's gonna be melted. What you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how much is melted up here today. I expected to shovel more than we did tonight, so.
I agree. Well, hell, let's just fucking. Oops.
Did you say hell?
I didn't say anything. Let's just do it.
I think you bleeped yourself along with the bleep. Oh boy.
This is gonna
There's
be
a
a long night.
lot of lack of sleep happening tonight.
Well, for you.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys ready?
I was born ready.
I'm not ready. I'm never ready. Oh boy. All right. See how this works. Well.
Just like that, we have a guest.
How's it going?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zach Westdorp. What is going on, dude?
Not racing related, but I just left out Seago versus Plainwell basketball game for the 7th grade. It was really good.
Yeah, they win?
They did. They went down by 12 points twice, and they came back to win it by 2.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It was great.
I played basketball as a kid. I can't do it no more.
I was never good at it.
I'm too fat. Just being honest, I'm way too fat to play basketball. So, what you drinking?
KBS. Maple Mackinac Fudge.
Is that a beer?
It is.
Wow.
It's a very dark beer.
Everybody asks Paul where his beer is.
There's a little thing Paul had to do. It's called rehydrate. Paul had a rough weekend.
Oh gosh, it's all right. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. So tell everybody, who is Zach Westdorp?
That's a tough question. I don't really know. Let's see. Out of college, was kind of just wandering around, and I ran into a guy named Scott Cunningham. He introduced me to the world of racing. Built cars for him for probably 4 years, and then he teamed up with Billy Shannon, and so I built cars for both of them. From there, I started racing enduros, and then something we can talk about a little bit later is my first win at a Super Shoe in one of Billy's Grand Ams. And from there, a good friend of mine, Tim Bullis, gave me a chassis and said, I'm not going to build it for you, but here's some tube and a rear end, and if you put it together, you can have a car. And that's kind of where the street stock came from.
So with your enduro years, are you racing Saturday?
No, I do not have a car.
Hey Tyler, are you watching? You remember the message I sent you this morning about putting somebody else in our cars? I got somebody.
I might wreck it for you.
So what year did you start? What was your first rookie season?
Street stock or ever?
Ever.
I don't actually remember. It was somewhere in the 2006-07 era, I think.
Okay.
Could have been a little earlier. I'm not sure.
Was Kalamazoo the home track when you started?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, Kalamazoo, when I first started, was the only track I knew. We traveled to a couple other ones, but Galesburg, South Bend, went and saw Toledo. We didn't race there, but watched. So yeah, Kalamazoo's always been a home track for me.
Love that.
Oh yeah.
So all the tracks you've raced, and we'll talk about this other track, and I know you're going to answer. What's your favorite track?
My favorite track?
Local.
Oh, okay.
Because I know where you're going with that.
Springport. It's such a fun track. It's large, it's fast, it's almost like a 3-count past the flag stand before you lift, so a lot more speed. And the corners are kind of forgiving. So if you do mess up, there's generally room to get around people and not pile in.
Or hit an inside or outside wall.
Hit both of those. Here.
So, I know, Paul, you probably got... Actually, Paul, go ahead, because you've raced Springport quite a bit, so I'm sure you got something along those lines there.
Yeah, I love Springport. That was where second track I raced street stocks at. So, fell in love with it. It's a great place, bumpy, comparatively. You come here and I feel like this is just gravy racing on this track, but no, that's Springport's nice. What's your least favorite track?
No offense to this track, I've enjoyed it, but Galesburg, I've never finished a race there. Every time I went, I blew a tranny in half.
Oh!
So
that's pretty intense.
yeah.
Is it because you've never finished it, or is it... Like, my opinion, Galesburg, I don't like the flatness of the track. I like a little banking to the track.
It made it fun. The biggest thing I learned there is wedge adjustments make huge differences. And I think the one time I grenaded the tranny coming off a 4, I still went like a 16-1, rolling across. I think I qualified like 10th or 11th that day, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it's probably just because I haven't finished. Like, I had fun at Galesburg.
I really wish we had headphones for him.
I do too.
I couldn't even hear what that one was.
No, it was kind of low. It just says, he ain't got no gas.
You should have told me. I could have brought some headphones.
So, we're working on that. Down the road. We got to get another mic. We have USB mics, but they're not. They won't hook into this, so.
Okay.
We're getting there. It's a process. So let's talk about Bristol, because not a lot of people probably know you've raced Bristol. You told me this story at the awards banquet, and I was mesmerized. I said that all right. It's just so you're gonna learn real quick with this show. We're not good with words.
What's this wee business?
I'm not good with remembering because I don't remember telling you the story.
Do we want to? Do we want to go into details?
That was just a long night.
It was a very long night. It was. Paul left without saying bye.
Paul was hungry.
No, so you told me about Bristol, and I told Paul, gosh, a couple of years ago when I started racing zoo stocks, I would love to race that track. Tell me a story about it. Like,
Intimidating. I brought a very small knife to a big gun show. Had a world of problems. The water pump fan pulled through. Didn't actually hit the radiator. Spent time putting on a water pump. Then had to physically adjust the pulley. Luckily, some racers around me let me use a vise. Andy Bozell and the Bozels helped out a ton. Drive shaft issues. It's amazing I made the track. I went there and put new axles in the car because I didn't want a vibration. And one of those new axles was 180 thousandths out of round. So, yeah, imagine that. I was vibrating. My teeth were chattering. So I go out and actually hit the track. I can't get it in gear. The drive shaft, I've shoved the synchros together and I couldn't get it into second. So finally hit the track. We get it in gear. First laps I got was qualifying. And I kid you not, my steering wheel was doing this down that front stretch and back stretch. It was the worst vibration ever.
That has to be terrifying at any track, let alone going into turn 3 at Bristol.
I had to make some laps though, so I'm like, well, let's see if it holds. And get going down the front stretch and hit the first corner, and I've never had this feeling. I mean, Kalamazoo, Springport, they're all pretty good banking tracks. But at Bristol, you just kind of turn sideways, and there's no force this way. It's straight down. I feel like I shrunk in my seat about 5 inches. And kind of made you grunt. It's kind of like a slingshot is what it felt like. It was recoiling me down. And then coming out of 2, my window visor is about like this. So to come out of 2, because you're up, and the exit of 2 is kind of like down. So I'm trying to look out the window to see what's out of 2. And nothing there, but that's also why that mod wreck was so bad that one year. And then just going down the back stretch is kind of the feeling of, oh my God, this is so fast. I've never held onto the throttle this long. And we qualified decent. Ended up making the B.
Which is impressive because there's how many cars show up to that event?
There was 130, I believe.
Street stocks.
Somewhere in there, yes.
Yeah.
Street stocks.
So to make the B is.
I think overall when they eventually send you your payout and give you your ranking, I think I finished 40th overall. But God, it was fun.
And that was your first time Bristol, right?
Whole time doing this.
Even during the race?
Oh yeah, I couldn't replace axles there. Well, I guess I could have if I bought one. But.
Right, true.
But at that point, I wasn't sure if it was axles, drive shaft, transmission. It held together.
So there's a story of my first race in general where I got out of the car. Well, I pulled in the pits and I had no power steering, and now it's a big joke bunch of people. My hand was like, Paul, you give the best.
I've never seen a hand recoil into itself. like that.
You had arm pump.
I don't even know what I had. It was so with that vibration, did you come out looking like your crip?
No, I think I just kind of quit paying attention to it.
Okay, no, makes sense.
Yeah, a few laps in, you realize it's not going to fall apart. I was definitely lighter on the throttle than I would have been. You know, I probably could have pushed it to 6,500 RPM, and I was kind of lifting at 6, just kind of coasting on the backstretch. But it was the most epic thing I think I've ever done in a race car. It was just cool. From driving across the track to unloading, and then seeing all these other people bring in their semi-trailers, and I'm going, my open trailer's not cutting it. I didn't bring enough stuff.
Right, and I feel like that rush is probably the best rush that you've, other than, I mean, I don't know how you feel with kids, but
Love kids.
yes, I love kids, but there's a different rush, and I feel like that rush of going to Bristol is a whole different story.
Yes.
What year was that?
I think it was 16 or 17.
And they don't do the asphalt anymore, right?
No, they changed
just do the dirt side of things. And that's kind of what I've told Chad this year. I've done a lot of going to different events and stuff like that because it seems like a lot's changing, and the opportunities to go witness, even if you're a fan, to go watch street stocks or late models on these tracks,
Right.
Isn't necessarily there. I remember back in like 2010, 2011, the Extreme Sprint Car Series went down there. Luckily, the job I had at the time, we did a promotional event there, so I got to witness it. But seeing sprint cars go around that track, and that was my first time at Bristol. Was
Did they kick sideways through the corners?
some of them did.
Okay.
And that was terrifying just watching.
That had to be
These
awesome.
guys, yeah. Sets ginormous.
Yeah,
Right.
That's I can't imagine anything. Oh yeah, Paul.
Sure do. My favorite thing in the world.
Don't let him fool you. Paul loves kids to a limit.
Small doses.
Small dose. So
Like grandparent style. You get to take them and then give them back.
Maybe like great grandparent style. Can't touch them, can't really do a whole lot, but I'll say hello. So.
really,
That's pretty good.
so Paul, don't answer this. What's your favorite class? Because the last time I asked the guest that, you said Spanish.
Oh, you're asking me.
Yes.
I thought you were asking him.
No, your favorite class. What would your favorite class be?
Honestly, I love outlaw super late models. I love the technology that goes into them. I love the speed that they go, and it's sad that they're dwindling a little bit. It just cost is getting too expensive. But a class that races normal nights has got to be street stocks. It just everybody says it draws the crowd, and you kind of see it.
Yeah.
Hands down the cleanest racing, I think, average on a week. I mean, you might have a spin here or there, but for the most part, it's
You mean the Zoostock C main isn't the cleanest race?
surprisingly no.
No, I can't say that. I like Zoostock still. Paul, go ahead, because I'm thinking of another question that just came to mind.
So, you mentioned how you kind of got your start into the sport and everything. We always ask the question, what's a bucket list or a goal that you want to drive?
A goal?
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry, dead air.
Hold on, I got something for
we have a
that.
sound for that.
He goes, huh? I should turn this up so he can hear it.
So I've driven an Outlaw Super Late model thanks to Jim Galloway at Springport. That was awesome. I would really love to race one for a year, but I'll never be able to afford it. So I guess the crazy bucket list would be to drive a super modified.
Love that answer.
Balls to the wall, just giving it all it could.
Yeah.
Sorry you didn't beep that out.
No, we're not FCC regulated. We like a 2 F-bomb minimum here, or maximum. And then I start trying to bleep it out if I find it. Yeah, you gotta have balls for those cars, man. That's
They just look fun.
Were you here? Well, I can't remember if it was last year. Yeah, because it wouldn't have been 2020
I think it's 2 years ago.
when the super modifieds were here.
No. Missed it. I think we were probably camping.
That's one of. I think he was the leader at the time. His throttle stuck going into one, and he ended up hitting at that little section where KTS normally sits, and the back side of that wall still has the rubber mark of where he cleared it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was insane. Like,
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
I think everyone here thought he was not in good shape, and he walked away, got right out of that thing, and his balls dragging behind him. I was like, whew, jeez. So I'm gonna talk a little bit here. So obviously this show we look to build short track racing, and obviously younger generation has a lot to do with it. Any idea if your kids are gonna get into this?
Well, Robert Long and I are pushing my wife to allow Reese to race, but it's a losing battle on my end. We tried a little bit for Dakota. We got him in a try ride, and he kind of lost interest. Not sure if that was my fault or he hurt himself a little bit in the garage trying to help me. Like I let him use the impact, and he twisted his arms up, and he was jacking the car up once, and unfortunately, it got to a point where he couldn't do it, and he was like hanging on it. I was like, all right, step back, let me do it. And I pulled it up, I set it down, and when I pulled it back up, he stepped back forward. And I caught him in the chin. And that kind of was the start of him not being that interested anymore.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I felt bad for that one. But Reese he's honestly the reason I'm still racing too. He loves it so much. Like, I can't even describe it.
No, I get that. I'm kind of in that same boat. I've got kids that are pushing me to just keep going, and friends that push me to keep going. But
He actually saw Brantley on, was it last week? They came on. Your wife called in before 80 foot.
Yeah.
And he came and sat in my lap, and he was waving at him and like trying to talk to him. I'm like, sorry, bud, this is a replay. It's not live anymore. It was super cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, most people don't know I coached Reese in flag football, and that kid, he's a quick learner. So, like, for me, looking at this, if he ever got in a car, like, I don't feel like he would struggle learning the car.
I don't think so. He already drifts a Power Wheels modified to a 20 volt. And he does it on purpose. He'll come across the driveway, lift off the gas, slide it, and then hammer back down as he does a donut.
I have something for that, but you're not going to be able to hear it. Dang it.
I bet he would pick it up pretty quick. My wife is probably listening at home going, Zach, no, Zach.
Let's see if you can hear this.
Bad job!
I had to. Sorry, folks.
I know of an event that includes Power Wheels that happens at Super Shoe. So yeah, souped up ones are always pretty darn good
That's
too.
probably not a good one for a kid.
There were some kids out there. Brantley was out there
Yeah, but he wasn't racing.
this year. Next year is a new story.
Did they go all the way around the track or just like down
No,
the
it was a ghetto ass figure eight out here in the.
Oh, okay.
It was at the end of the evening, so a lot of smart decisions were made. So
I could probably find a video, but that's for another day. Let's just say Paul couldn't keep all four on the ground. He gave gas and just flipped over
Sounds fun.
2 times, 3 times.
2, and then I just kind of gave up. And Jimmy, #Jimmy, pushed me around to help finish the race. So
if you were to get Reese into a car, would it be a mini wedge or a quarter midget?
Don't know. I honestly don't have a preference because racing is racing and you learn things doing both. But my buddy Robert Long would bury me if I didn't put him in a quarter midget.
Okay.
If anyone knows Robert Long, but he has like 6 cars, so I'm really pushing the wife. I do believe he needs to sell some of those. Hint. Oh, sorry. Hint, Robert.
And hint to your wife too. Get Reese in a car.
And Dakota. We'll build him one too.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna be 14.
Oh yeah, he needs zoo stock.
Oh, street stock.
Well, I mean, yeah. Why not?
Start him in an enduro or something, and then throw him in a real car.
Yeah, you're right. It's smart.
No offense to anybody that runs front wheel drives; they're real cars too.
Shut up, Paul. No, I personally went to Zoosac just to learn the racing aspect of it.
Yes.
Because I started at 32 years old. But when you can start them young, Paul started in the street stock as well.
Yep.
I mean, I was probably 26 to 28 or so when I started. And racing in an enduro with 200 cars where the leaders are going and you're still sitting still as they're passing you. I'm thinking of a 4th of July race in the 2010-11 era. And finishing, I think, 5th in the race, I'm thinking of somewhere in there. And just the closeness, and you literally have to learn what's around you because you're just kind of bouncing off each other everywhere. You're like a pinball.
Yep.
Was that
It
the
gives you
events
great
where they,
car awareness.
Was that the events where they put porta potties in the middle of the track?
Porcupines?
Porta potties.
Porta potties?
Yeah.
I don't remember porta
Porcupines
potties.
would be awesome.
I'm also deaf.
Oh, you're good. You're fine.
Where's the?
Well, what are you looking for?
We also are.
This is probably when they were putting 55-gallon drums of water on the track, though.
Those were fun days too.
Yeah.
Paulie, I don't think you've ever watched that.
I haven't.
Dude, they would hit those and they just go poof.
Yep.
Gary, I don't know if you're watching, but I need a big inflatable porcupine for Saturday. And just
Porcupine?
let's throw that bitch on the track.
The bad Santa. Get all of the old inflatables
Yeah.
you have and put them on the track.
Yep. This is fantastic.
So, Paul, with you not racing the Bad Santa anymore, are you still coming out in your outfit?
No. So I have a Mrs. Claus outfit. If anybody is in interest, I believe there's a $50 reward for it. Not sure. I think Tyler was putting it up, but we'll see.
I mean, people would pay to see that.
Not me. I mean, maybe somebody, but not me. But on that hand, racing is expensive. So if someone is willing to pay, let me know.
$20 is $20.
Exactly. Times are tough.
I don't even got anything for that, so. Paul, go ahead, man. I know you've got questions. I kind of been jumping in here.
Yeah, we digressed a little bit. So we talked about your favorite class,
Yeah.
least favorite class.
Least?
Ooh.
Well, to race, there's no least favorite class because you're out there racing.
I think that's the best answer we've heard so far.
I
Well
agree.
done.
I think I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's fair.
I'll take it.
Very political answer, which I appreciate.
I mean, if you're racing, you're racing. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest or the slowest. You are driving your car as hard as you can.
Yep.
I got something for that. Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is.
And that's the truth. With some cheese on it.
I can barely hear it.
Yeah, I gotta give it.
It's all right.
But no, I like that answer because, I mean, Paul and I have talked before that as long as you're having fun, it don't matter.
Yep.
You pull in the pits and you got a smile on your face and you're like, hell, that was a great time. It don't matter what happened out there.
And I think, and it pains me to say this, outside of the Outlaws this year, there was damn good racing in most classes most nights. Whether it's the C feature, the C feature was probably one of the most entertaining races in the Z stocks all year. But the templates, obviously street stocks. I mean, some of those template races were phenomenal. So
Yeah.
that's a damn good answer.
Yeah, I liked it. So, I always ask this question to every guest that comes on, and Paul's probably getting sick of me asking this question, but what do you think it's going to take to get short track racing back to how it was?
We as racers need to promote it to the youth. Whether that's in college, your kids, everybody else's kids. That's kind of what it's going to take, I think. Just when I was in college, and we're not going to talk about how long ago that was at this point, but the big disconnect for me is I liked racing, and all my friends were like, "What's that? There's Kalamazoo Speedway. Where's that? Is that Berlin?" Because most of the people were from Grand Rapids.
Yep.
And I was like, seriously, you should come watch. And I brought several friends and they liked it, but I mean, it wasn't something that they were going to get into on a weekly basis. I don't know. Just promoting it and showing everybody, bringing a friend. That's probably the best statement I hear is bring a friend.
That's exactly it. Like that's I don't know if anyone's touched on that since we've asked that question, but
I mean, honestly, if you look at Randy, Gary, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Run Springport. Please. Donnie.
Yeah.
Donnie. Amazing. And the guy that runs Galesburg and M40.
Eddie Santora. Yeah.
Yep.
Eddie Santora, also a great guy. South Bend.
Kevin.
Words. I can't come up with
Sauer.
words right
Words.
now.
You're good.
Kevin Sauer. I mean, these guys, or actually it's Plymouth now. Sorry, Kevin. These guys are doing such a great job promoting local tracks, though. I mean, they're not doing anything wrong. At this point, it's going to have to come back on to us as drivers and spectators to continue to bring more people.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a few shows ago that we remember the times where you can go to a race and those pits were full after the races. Kids were getting in cars, getting their flags signed, and we struggle, like, how can we bring that back? Because that's how I got into racing. I was a kid at Berlin Raceway, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go in the pits. I wanted to go look at the victory car. I wanted to get in his car. I wanted to get a flag signed. We don't really see that as much as we should, and I don't know how to get that back.
You know what I miss the most, and we've talked about this, the victory lane after the races being on the midway, for lack of a better term, back there. I know when you and I started hanging out, coming to Kalamazoo Speedway, and our friends were winning, we'd go down there, and it was so cool to be part of that excitement right after a win, which is cool, you know, on the front stretch or in front of everybody, but I think maybe a little bit of both. We seem to do pretty good with time here. They move the show along efficiently.
I agree. And it's not going to hurt any time for the winner of the, let's say, the Shea Sock race to go up there and wait till the next race to pull down. The night's done after the feature.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I liked the up top thing. Never got to be a part of it, unfortunately.
well, I mean, you got one this year. You
did get one this year.
Yep.
But I remember same thing, watching people up there, and the kids would come down, and I think it was Matt Corliss said, or brought an old trophy and gave it away. And I'm pretty sure it was Matt, but he told me a story on how this kid's eyes lit up. That he just gave away an old trophy.
Yep.
It was the coolest thing to that kid.
Yep. That's something he'll have for ages.
Something about the midway is definitely cool for the kids. It gets them more interactive, because parents really aren't going to let their kids run down unless it's, their parent or uncle or brother,
And it's so much easier when it's where it's at now.
And as a guy who pits up in turn 2 there, when we had to come and actually run down to victory lane when Jimmy won, I thought I was going to die. That was
trying to get over that front stretch wall was a pain for this big dude. Goodness gracious.
Watch how hard you slam your phone, man.
I know, this thing. Throw this thing. So Gary, or Randy, if you're listening, let's get the midway back up. Let's start there.
maybe take a poll, see what the crowd thinks.
It's not a bad idea either.
Ooh.
I mean, if they like it on the front stretch, keep it there. Because there's something you've said about a front stretch.
So I think the issue if we did the front stretch and the midway is the photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would literally have to take a poll, like you said, and see where do you rather see
Well,
it.
you get your photo at one spot, I guess.
True.
I wasn't thinking doing both. But that could be a thing.
Checkers Records More question of Tuesday. We'll run a poll tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we could do that.
There you go.
So I always like going opposite of what we talk about. So we talked about what we would do to help the sport. What's something that's maybe going on where you're like, hey, we shouldn't do this, or we need to tweak how we do things?
That's a good question.
I don't have an answer for that.
Do we have a sound bite for that?
Womp, womp, womp.
Yes, where's my trombone?
Oh, I do have a trombone.
I mean, for me, racing is kind of a secondary thing at this point, too, because I have young kids. And, you know, I get out in the garage a couple nights a week after 8 o'clock. So I'm doing everything I can. So things that we aren't doing, I think everybody's trying to do the best they can for not answering, giving you an answer.
Your political answers are fantastic. I love them.
Yeah, they are. They are. So,
I prepped for this.
Good.
go on, Paul, because I had something to piggyback off that and I completely lost it.
So one thing I know I've been a part of a few conversations with the transition of modifieds and late models, outlaws, for instance, not being weekly divisions on the card. Outlaws are doing 4, mods are doing 4. Would you rather have maybe 5 or 6 bigger street stock events versus running weekly for a points? Or do you kind of like I can just go run a 30 lap feature on any Friday I want to type deal?
That's kind of a bad question for me. I spent more time camping this year than I did racing. So when I did get to race, I came here, and I don't think it would have mattered if there was a bunch of big shows around for me.
Okay.
I went to what I could, and that's kind of the way it fell. I definitely love seeing the mods and the late models, though. It'd be cool if there was enough cars local to create a class again every night.
Agreed.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that you did more camping than racing this year. Because, I mean, that's... Paul told me when I first started racing, don't let racing get in the way of family. And that's always stuck with me, and
Yep.
so I respect that answer.
Guy Pate and Scott Cunningham told me the same thing. He's like, someday you're going to get married. This is, I believe, Guy, I'm quoting. Someday you're going to get married and you're going to have kids. Don't ruin your relationship to go race. That set to heart with me. And then several years later, Phil Massage kind of came out of retirement to a clash. And I talked to him. I'm like, well, where you been, Phil? And he's like, time had gone by. And I realized I missed my kids and I missed some things growing up. So now I'm spending more time jet skiing, boating, skiing in the off season, and just doing a bunch of stuff with his kids. And so his answer, on top of what Guy and Scott taught me, like, it really set home. Like, my wife's not wrong when she says I need to be in the house playing with the kids.
Not at all.
But honey, I got stuff to do. She says, I don't care. I said, okay.
Yeah, my wife has told me numerous times, one day you're going to regret not spending as much time with the kids. They're only young for so long. And some of the best times of their life is being young.
Yeah.
So I agree 100%. I took a whole different career change to spend more time with my kids, like coach them and all that stuff. So I respect that answer probably more than any other answer I've ever gotten from anyone. So
Yeah.
Sub note. World's best coach, by the way. This man has more patience than anyone I've ever seen.
I will second that.
I mean, I watched almost every practice, and I remember on the sideline one time, I was like, hey, coach, want me to take the defense? They were just, like, it was 45 minutes in, and they were done paying attention.
they were done.
Done. And, yeah.
I think that's when I changed practice
World's best
time.
coach here.
I do appreciate that. I thank you for that.
Oh,
I had fun. I mean, I know it's off subject, but I had a blast. Like, those kids watching their progression, that was awesome.
it was cool.
So I'm going to ask another off subject because I know you're a Michigan State fan like Paul is. Michigan or Ohio State for this weekend's game?
Me? Mm-hmm. Well, would you grab that cup right there? It's sitting on that chair.
Oh,
Right there.
boy.
Off camera.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Don't trip.
Yeah, that was me. Wait a minute.
Hey there.
So, hold up.
I am a Michigan State fan with a Michigan cup. But I'm only a Michigan State fan when they play each other.
Okay, fair enough.
Because my buddy Mikey is diehard Michigan. He's that guy. And he loves to be that guy. So to counteract that, I got to be a State fan. Plus, my dad, growing up, always took me to state games. We went to one Michigan. So inherently state, but never root for Ohio State ever. I wish they have a losing season always. Sorry, Buckeyes fans.
I don't think we have many on this podcast.
No, I don't think we do. I tried
I
doing
might get down there.
Oh, jeez. I tried doing a poll on Facebook and not too many responses on that, which it's all right. We're not a football fan page. We're not racing, but
That's a good question, though. All right, so you love racing. What's your favorite sport outside of it?
Football and track.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm really enjoying watching basketball. Just my kid. Because you see the kids when they first start, and it's like you said, they're just uncoordinated, it's clunky. But then the years go by, and you see the same kids over and over again. You learn their names, and then you see a game like tonight. And it was cool. I felt like I was at a college basketball game that was like neck and neck. So, favorite sports, football, hockey, but basketball's growing on me.
Okay. Professional football or more college?
I'd say college.
Good answer.
yeah, I mean, I'm all college because, well, now they get paid, but before they played for the love of the sport, so
They're getting paid in college?
they can do sponsorship. What is it called? NIT program, I think it's called.
Basically a way to get them paid.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yep, but yeah. So let's talk about your super shoe win because you kind of brought that up earlier.
Okay, so when you invited me on this show, I was like, what can I talk about? This is just one of the dumbest things I've probably ever done. And so Billy Shannon lets me drive. I think it was Joel's car at the time, but it's Billy's car, a Grand Am, and I race it in the super shoe. I'm the fastest car in the slow heat, but I got to back up. In practice, as a true rookie would do when he sees a crash in front of him, I locked up the brakes. I didn't lift off. And literally in slow motion, like I think I counted to 30. It was so long that I slid into this car. I T-boned a car that spun at the flag stand and stopped in two. I mean, it was a long time, but it was just like, and I got the wheel cranked. And I just, bam! And I bust in the driver's front corner. It's rubbing on the tire. And I spent the rest of the day, trying to bang it out and pull it out. Billy just kind of looks at me, shakes his head. I'm like, oh, man. So practice is over. The night we think is done. We've put away the late model. I put away the Grand Am. And we're up in the skybox. Actually, probably went back to the camper first. And they've all been done for hours. I feel like I'm playing catch up at this point.
Oh,
Shots got passed around. We end up in the skybox. And luckily we went up to the skybox because we got up there and I had a couple drinks in my hands. And I see front wheel drives loading up or lining up in the hot chute. I'm going, shit, this is my race. Like, what are they saying? Because Greg Cady at the time was listening to the track and he's like, yeah, this is the B feature. You got to go. So I'm double fisting it. Take my shot, set it down, running down through the stands with a beer, back to the trailer, throw on my fire suit. I'm like, arms flailing, running back to the car. I get in the thing, I get buckled in, I get down to the hot chute, and I go, whoa, I think I caught up. I'm starting at the tail. I'm like, maybe I'll just stay here. I don't know. And I think let's just say it was a 20-lap feature. By lap 15, I was in the lead. Just clicked off cars, like every lap. Just clicked them off. And then I get out front, and I'm like, wait a minute. Am I going too fast? So I'm trying to lift a little bit. I end up going faster. So first ever win, super shoe, was quite eventful.
That's one of the best stories I think that's ever been on this podcast.
I mean, you have to think my fire suit looked like one of those inflatable blow-up thingies with the arms. That's what it looked like. Everyone's like, where are you going? I'm like, I got a race.
that's
First win. I think it preceded any of my enduro wins also.
wow.
That's damn
I
good.
don't even know what to say to that.
Have you raced a Super Shoe
Don't
since?
drink and drive.
I
Kids.
was thinking about should I go
Never
down there?
a good idea.
But if you do, you win.
No.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. Don't.
You gotta have some type of button for that.
And I like this.
It's a 45-minute donkey.
No, seriously, don't drink and drive, kids.
This show just spiraled.
Sorry. That's probably the best Super Shoe story I've got. I mean, I've got some of Billy, but I don't think he wants me to talk about him.
We are.
If he's watching right now, he went, no.
People liked it. We got.
There's our soundbite of the week right there.
No, we talked about getting Billy on the show, so
You should.
him and I talked about that. Like it'd be probably a really good show.
If we do, Brantley's got to come in with the old school
Oh yeah.
strip club T-shirt.
Oh my gosh. So the story of that shirt, Zach comes up to me at the awards banquet and said, "Hey, would Brantley wear this?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's all about racing." He's like, "It's got a strip club on it." I'm like, "Okay." Like, you know Brantley. Like, he don't give 0 Fs. So he would not take that shirt off for probably a couple weeks. Like, he let us wash
awesome.
it. And he's like, "I want that shirt on." I'm like, "Okay." So we went to Dave's bar, and he wore it. And then, God, what's his name?
Donnie Breast.
He was there, and he had to take pictures of it. It was great. Then Brantley's at the bar. He was messed up on Sprite that night. But that picture is probably just priceless picture. But no, those shirts, those are great. So, I really don't have many more questions here.
I'll just read one. You did pretty good with memory. Chad has had a hard problem printing his notes. So I'm like, I'm just going to hog this one because I've been trying to do more off-the-cuff type questions. 3/8 mile. What is this?
Quarter mile? Or
What size track is your preference? There we go. Math's not a strong suit either.
3/8.
3/8?
Yeah. 3/8 is fast enough. You go to a half, it gets really fast. Like,
The hits are a little
so
harder.
at Bristol, they literally went over the loudspeaker to the whole place and said, "Street stock drivers, tighten your stuff up. You're all too loose." And like, it was bad. Like, they're drifting through the corners sideways. Like that. Oh, it was everywhere. And the amount of crashes in practice. There was this one guy, I remember watching him load his stuff up. They literally had to cut the car apart. It was so bad. It was front, back, side, everything. The motor basically just fell out of it. They unhooked the rear end. They cut the front clip off. They cut the back clip off, and they just put it in their trailer. So
I think I would have just left it in a garbage can at that point. Jesus.
there's always usable parts.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I remember one of my questions. Somebody who's coming through the rankings, what advice would you give somebody who's stepping into a street stock for the first time?
Don't give up. You're doing amazing.
Boom. Mic
Seriously.
drop.
Paul, I feel like you're staring at me.
I am.
I'm not staring at you. I'm thinking of Bud Heibel's son. Is it Blake?
Yes, I believe it's Blake.
Thinking of Blake. First time in the street stock. Did amazing. Had a great teacher too, Bud Heibels. Even you, the first night you were out. I remember, so my wife tells me my football coach and my son's football coach races, and I said, "Really? What's he race?" And she says, "I think front wheel drives." I was like, "All right, I'll ask about it." So I come to the football practice, and I was like, "So my wife tells you race. What do you race?" She's like, "Street stock. I race with you." And I went, "Really? Is there a huh button?"
Yes, there is.
Hit it.
Oh, that's a boo. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, all right." And then I asked what number you were, and you said 32. And after you went back out, I was like, what car does he have? You have to show me a picture because it's not very often I don't know the car at least. And then she showed me the picture. I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah, you flew by me really fast.
No offense, everybody did.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you said that. Man. I'm going to tell you, I will go into...
I'm in danger.
That race, I actually got out of the car and I was not having fun. Found out a lot of shit was wrong with that motor. God, that was embarrassing.
No,
it was embarrassing.
no. If you're in a car, it's not embarrassing. Don't ever say that.
You're living the dream 90% of the people that are in those stands would love to do no matter how fast you're going. So
You did it. And you're going to do it again.
I sort of did it. I don't know if I did it.
you didn't hit anything.
Well, I did cause that wreck on the backstretch.
Did you, though? Or did lap traffic not know how to get around you? Lapping traffic. I put that.
I'm pretty sure I could have moved up a little bit more, but I digress on that. It was a learning experience. I like that advice. I've heard that advice quite a few
Don't
times.
ever quit. If you want to do it, do it. You'll get better.
Right.
Go to classes. Do research. Ask. I mean, you wouldn't believe what people are willing to tell you. You just got to ask. If you're not willing to ask, they're not going to tell you. And the worst they're going to tell you is, sorry, I can't tell you that. Or they'll give you some disinformation, which hopefully someone else fixes for you.
Right.
I've seen that.
No, fair enough. I like that. I tell you, a couple weeks ago, I picked up the street stock from 131 Auto Care, and I was doubting what I wanted to do until I got in it, started it, and pulled it on the trail, and I went, God, this is nice.
Right?
So it brought back a little bit of joy. So
Yes.
hopefully we'll see what testing does come in the spring.
Heck yeah.
So that's all I got, Paul. I don't know about you though.
Same, and this is one of the first times I think starting that 15 minutes earlier keeps us on track for a good
It
time.
actually kind of does.
You're our first guest at Studio 16, so thanks for making the trek through.
I figured it'd be more fun.
Yes, and that's what we were talking about. We can control a lot more with you here as opposed to phoning in. We can't control internet connections. We got a lot of stuff we can control here. So, thank you for taking your time out.
Yes.
Thanks to the family for letting us have you for the evening.
You're welcome. Pleasure talking with everybody.
And hopefully next time we have microphone and headphones for you. But you're coming through really good, so
Surprisingly, yeah.
good. Yeah, we tested it out, but you're free to stay with us if you want to finish the show. It's completely up to you. It's this is where laughing usually happens the most.
Sure.
Don't know if you have plans, but so Paul, let's just go right to Crash of the Week.
Presented by Top Row Racing Media.
Oh nope.
We were doing really good with not messing up.
Well, no, I have to, in order to get the sound to come through, I forgot what I had to do, so I gotta share the audio too. Alright. So, Paul, we're gonna talk while we do this, and feel free to jump in if you want here. There's some hellacious wrecks.
It's now time for the Checkers Wreckers and more podcast Crash of the Week presented by Top Row Racing Media, your Friday night for Kalamazoo Speedway racing action in 2023.
So this wreck happens at Hartford. The wing sprints, the GLSS. He went over the wall.
Kept it on all fours.
We don't know how. Like, we've watched this probably 14 times. We don't know how he kept it on all fours. So, Paul.
Top Row is here. Welcome in, Lewis.
Perfect timing, Lewis. So, Paul said it best. He sent it a little too hard. Yep, jumped the cushion. And these sparks that you see, he took out the, what was it, Paul?
Well, if you ask me, that was his nuts hitting the top of the wall. But
We don't know how he did it flip at all.
Oh, that was amazing.
like I was telling Chad, just spinning out there once he cleared the wall, it's very rare you see a sprint car spin out and not at least tip over at some point during that 360.
Yeah, I don't understand how. But another mad prop to Hartford on getting that red flag out right away.
Yeah, safety crew was on top of it.
Yep. So yeah, Lewis at Top Row has mentioned that he's got quite a few good videos coming very soon.
Oh, okay. Steve Smith, with the information here, believes he did roll after he cleared the wall.
And then landed back on all four.
Yep.
Jeez, oh Bates.
Still pretty
Impressive.
Impressive.
So yeah, so huge shout out Top Row again, coming in clutch with these videos.
Somehow he always has the magic touch for being right where the action is, no matter where it is in the pack. So
yeah, we talked to him a little bit today. He's got some awesome plans this summer, and I'm really excited to see those plans come into play with him. He's trying his best to get great footage for everyone. So I guess at this point, now I'm running behind. Now I forgot where I was at. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Oh,
it's Chad's first podcast.
So now we're going to go into the Mom of the Week. So, ladies and gentlemen, Zach got a kick out of that. Your Mom of the Week this week is... Hold on, I got a drum roll for this. Oh, gosh. Never mind. We're not even going to do it.
Well done.
What'd I do?
That was good. No, it was just a good montage.
Oh! So, this is what Maureen had to say. And, by the way, this is Tyler's mom.
Well, you actually haven't announced.
Well, it's on there. It
Well,
shows.
you got it.
Yes. Maureen McGann.
Some people are doing other things.
Yes, they are doing it. So every week I reach out to the Mom of the Week, and I just, oh yeah, Mama McGann. I reach out to her just to kind of see what they want to say, kind of given the history of the Mama.
The what?
I make this. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, Paul?
A lot.
Damn it.
Hey, baby.
All right. It's a little late, but it works. So this is what Maureen had to say. I met Dale McGann in 1984 and had never really been to the races. He took me to Kalamazoo Speedway on our second date. Hell yeah, brother. And she loved it. I used to go and watch him and support him, and then we got married and had 4 children. When Dale got older, he passed the torch on to our sons. I always enjoy watching and cheering them on. We race as a family, and I truly enjoy our family time most at the track. I'm so proud of my kids and their accomplishments, and I truly enjoy being a racing mom. Thank you. I didn't have to add that, but... I'm also very proud of Dale and Tyler for all they're doing behind the scenes at the racetrack now. That's not even like...
That's an understatement.
Yes, what they do for Night Destructions or anything at this track is huge. So, Maureen, thank you for, one, allowing Dale to do what he did when you guys first met and giving him the chance, especially taking you on a date, the second date to the track. And thank you for being there for your boys and your kids and getting them into racing and keeping them into racing because, as we talked before, it's the future of the track. So, congratulations. We can't announce it yet, but we will announce soon. There will be something coming for Mom of the Week.
Going back to day one.
Going back to day one, we have a partner for Mom of the Week. It will be announced probably early this week. But
Ink Ink isn't quite dried yet,
Yep.
so gotta wait a few more days.
Yep, once it's dried, we will announce it, and I will be getting a hold of all of the previous Mom of the Week, and then I think y'all will like it. So,
Is there 16
is there 16?
moms of the week?
There is actually, we're
did that
going to
come
do
about?
Mom of the Week through the first week of April, so there's going to be 28 total.
Okay. Nice.
So, yeah, it's, no, you're good.
Tyler, if you're listening, we should have a Mom of the Week enduro.
Oh my gosh. Checkers, Wreckers, and More podcast, Mom of the
Presents.
Week, Enduro.
Julie Shannon needs to get back in a car.
I believe she was nominated before. Don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure.
If not, go on our Facebook page
Yes.
at Checkers, Records, and More and nominate her next, or I think voting starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow I will update the
Yep.
nominations. Go on there and nominate who you think needs to be Mom of the Week. We started it out as it just like your kids being racing, but my wife had a very good point where why has it got to be your kids that are racers? Why can't the husband be the racer? Because the Mom of the Week.
Or the brother, uncle.
Yep. So we're going to kind of open up the rest. What do we have? A few months. So.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, so it's a fun thing. Mom of the Week, I love it. So Paul and I don't know if you heard, we joke a lot about moms. Like Paul raced that bus, and we had to put Chad's mom on there. We did a stacker, and it said Paul's mom on it. So
All in good fun with a
All great
lot of laughs, a lot of jokes.
tons of laugh. So Paul, we're gonna jump right to this.
I'm actually prepared for this week.
Oh gosh.
Isn't racing a bus fun though?
It was a blast till they came on the radio and told me to slow down.
What?
Yeah. And then I slowed down too much and I had like 3 laps left to catch back up, and exploding a parked whatever that was in turn 4 though, that was cool.
Did you jump the bus?
No, we talked about it.
You should have.
Was that you?
I jumped a boat once, but it also had one of those air ride seats that moved, and then I had a 5-point harness on. So when you jump it, you go all the way down, and then you spring back up into the belts. That's a little bit painful, but
Wait a minute, was this a couple of years ago? When,
it's quite a while ago.
okay,
Honestly.
somebody did a couple of years ago. They had the monster truck cars out there, and they launched over the monster truck cars.
No, that was not me.
I think that was.
This was a little boat on the backstretch.
Oh. All right, Paul, I'm going to let you get right into it.
Added sound effect. I appreciate that. So something, I'm going to turn this so I have a little more on here. I read Cars Tour, which is mainly Southern, East Coast type late model division, announced that they were allowing or dropping the required minimum age down to 12 years old. And people lost their fucking.
Oh, Paul!
That's our first one. That's our first
Okay,
one. We don't need the
yep.
beep. There we go. You wouldn't believe it. And that ties back into a lot of things that happened at Super Shoe with Bryce Bozell and grown men not being able to handle it. And I say that because probably 6 years ago, if not sooner, I was in the same boat. I'm like, a 12-year-old has. That was pretty damn good. had zero business being in a late model. Mainly because, you're putting $75,000, $100,000 race cars on the track with a kid that maybe he's making his start in a late model. You don't need to wad up that much of equipment. But then you get your Bryce Bozells, and there's a lot of younger drivers across the country who can handle it, race pretty clean, with the exception of, idiots that'll be out there everywhere. No, you don't need it. I censored myself on that one. It's not going to hurt the sport. Like we touched on, that's a kid that's coming up in the sport, who's probably going to have a social media presence and are going to promote the shit out of everything that happens. So in my eyes, I think it's a great move. Cars Tour is nationally known. They televise a lot of the races on, I think it's Flow Racing or some other equivalent. Give it a shot. I mean, if we start destroying cars every lap on the first lap because we miss a shift or some stupid shit like that, then we can readdress. But for the most part, I say let the kids have at it, and if they beat us, that means just we got to work harder. And that's Paul's final thoughts.
And that's the truth. With some cheese on it. Ain't no meatloaf between these buns.
There ain't no meatloaf between these buns. All right, folks. I'm not even going to touch on that because you hit it perfect. Yeah.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
I think Bryce Bozell is going to be a big part of the future of racing.
Is there a preach button?
The truth.
And that's the truth.
That's the truth.
I mean, I think he impressed thousands upon thousands of people this year at Super Shoe.
And
Andy and Phil, and everybody should be very proud of that kid.
Yep. And I think it's only going to get better as his confidence gets bigger and he gets more comfortable in the Outlaws.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch him. And we've talked to him when we interviewed him. Like, I'm excited to watch him grow because
Yes.
he's going to be good.
Yep.
I mean, you get the backing of Andy, his dad. Like,
Yep.
the kids can go places. Mm-hmm. So with that, thank you everyone for joining us. It's getting really cold in here.
If you couldn't tell.
I'm cutting ice here. So I'm thinking I'm going to send a message over to Hal and be like, yeah, I think we're ready to move the studio over there because it's got heat, but it's just too loud with the equipment. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully your Monday's been enjoyable with us. Well, we're laughing at me. I guess it's funny. All right, shut up. Paul's dead. Like I always on the show with, check in with your friends and racing family. The ones who need the most help are the ones who don't want your help. Sometimes all it takes is an open ear to help someone through a rough time. So with that,
thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Zach, for joining us. And
you know what? I'm sorry.
Shit.
Did we forget something?
We did. We always ask our guests, sponsors, anyone you need to thank or anything, because we all know sponsorship is hard to come by and they help us with racing. Anyone you need to thank, anyone, sponsor, family, whatever.
Back in the day, it was Greg Cady. Now it's Tim Bullis and my wife, Nikki. She's amazing, and so's Tim. Thank you.
So, you have one sponsor?
I don't have any, honestly, no. Every time I've went out and actually searched for a sponsor, something bad happens and I end up not racing half the season. I have to run them on the car twice. It's just, I don't have time.
Speaking the truth.
That's fine because I'm in that situation.
It's hard and you get no everywhere. And unless you're Steve Wright, who does an amazing job getting sponsors, it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So the people that do it and work the doors, God bless you. That's a lot of work.
I agree. Well, perfect.
Well, again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Zach. Be sure, like, share, follow, support Hot Patio Windows, support Top Road Racing Media.
Support your
Hot Patio
local
Windows.
Support your local track.
Amen. We will see you next Monday.
Peace.